Hello and welcome live from New Delhi. You're watching DDI NEWSHOUR, India's voice to the world. I'm Gautam Roy, and coming up in the next hour, the Israeli army tells thousands more in Rafah to evacuate Gaza and move to western parts of the Strip. Bombs fall in eastern Rafah and face-to-face battles are also reported. In another sign of growing disquiet about Israel's operations in Gaza, the US says Israel's use of American-supplied weapons may have violated international humanitarian law. Campaigning for the fourth phase of India's national elections ends on a high note. 96 parliamentary seats across 10 states and union territories will go to polls on Monday. Flash floods from unusually heavy rains in Afghanistan claim over 300 lives, according to the UN Food Agency WFP. The official Taliban government death toll stands at 153. And large parts of the world stretching across North America, Europe and Russia get a rare glimpse of northern lights on Friday after one of the strongest geomagnetic storms hit the earth in years. Well, first up, let's get to the latest on the world's largest democratic elections unfolding in India. Well, Saturday was the last day for campaigning for the fourth leg of the ongoing seven-phased parliamentary elections. In the fourth round, voting will be held on Monday, that is the 13th of May. As many as 96 parliamentary constituencies across 10 states and union territories will go to polls in the upcoming phase. Union Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah addressed a public rally in Vikarabad and Nagar Kurnool in the southern state of Telangana. The BJP leader also held a press conference in Hyderabad on Saturday. Later on in the evening, the Home Minister and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath attended Ganga Aarti at the Shashwamedh Ghat in Varanasi in the state. The day also saw BJP President JP Nadda holding a roadshow in Tirupati, Andhra Pradesh. Later on, JP Nadda also addressed a public rally in Kurnool in the state. UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath held public gatherings in Begusarai, Bihar, and in Bahraich, Uttar Pradesh. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami received a grand welcome from workers and people during a roadshow. Former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister and BJP candidate from Vidisha, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, held a roadshow in Ratlam. The Congress has fielded former Union Minister Kantilal Bhuria, and the BJP has fielded Anita Chauhan from the Ratlam Loksabha seat in Madhya Pradesh. Meanwhile, Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra addressed an election rally in Nandurbar in Maharashtra. Priyanka Gandhi also held a meeting in Tandur in Telangana. AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi addressed a public rally in Hyderabad, Telangana, and YSRCP Chief Y.S. Jagat Mohan Reddy held a roadshow in Pitapuram, Andhra Pradesh. And political leaders across the nation have also been campaigning for the fifth phase of the elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed rallies in Odisha and Jharkhand, while the opposition Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge briefed the media in Bihar and National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah expressed hope that the election results will be in favour of the opposition bloc. Take a look.
As the election fever intensifies, top leaders are sparing no effort to sway voters in favour of their parties. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi held 4 public meetings, 3 in the state of Odisha and 1 in Jharkhand. In Odisha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed election rallies in Kandhamal, Bolangir and Bargarh districts. While addressing the rally in Kandhamal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that support for the BJP shows that people of Odisha are tired of the ruling party's misgovernance.
आप लिख के रखिए मेरे देशवासियों, हिंदुस्तान ने मन बना लिया है कि इस बार एनडीए 400 पार करने वाला है। भाजपा अपने सारे पुराने रिकॉर्ड तोड़ करके ज्यादा से ज्यादा सांसद के साथ आने वाली है।
After the rally and roadshow in Odisha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a public gathering in Chatra, Jharkhand. On the other hand, Union Minister and BJP candidate from Hamirpur, Anurag Singh Thakur, held a roadshow in his constituency. He said that BJP government at the centre has started several welfare schemes for the people of the country.
अब तो स्वनिधि योजना शहर की रेडी पटरी वालों को हमने दी। अब गांव में भी कोई रेडी ठेला पटरी पर काम करता है तो उसको भी 10-10 हजार रुपया मोदी सरकार आने वाले समय में देने के लिए तैयार है।
Whereas President of the Indian National Congress, Mallikarjun Kharge, held a press conference in Patna, Bihar. He expressed hope that Indy bloc will be victorious in this election.
मुझे बताते हुए अत्यंत प्रसन्नता है कि मोदी जी के लिए सरकार बना पाना अत्यंत मुश्किल है।
National Conference President Farooq Abdullah held a roadshow in the Kakapura area of Pulwama in Jammu and Kashmir. He said India Alliance will be successful in the country and expressed hope that there will be a new government at the centre. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report for DD India.
Now, 8 Lok Sabha seats from West Bengal are going to polls in the 4th phase of the general elections, and amongst them, one of the most talked about seats is the Berhampur Lok Sabha constituency, as it stands as one among 2 of the last bastions of the Congress party in the state. But will the Congress be able to save its citadel from falling? Let's take a look at this report by DD India's Dibyendu Mondal from Berhampur to find out more.
Situated on the banks of the river Ganges, the Baharampur Lok Sabha is part of the Murshidabad district, which once was the seat of power of independent Bengal. Nawab Sirajud-Dowla ruled Bengal from here before losing to the British East India Company in the 18th century. After independence of India, Murshidabad had been a stronghold of the Congress. The Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the 5-term MP, from here is popularly known as Borda or the elder brother. But lack of development of the region, non-industrialization and unemployment has drawn massive anti-incumbency for the Congress's Robin Hood. The Trinamool Congress this time has fielded former cricketer Yusuf Pathan to take on Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. This Baharampur constituency, which has over 60% minority population, the entry of Pathan has threatened the political dynamics of this constituency for the Congress. At the road show organized by the Trinamool Congress, crowds emphatically cheered to get a slight glimpse of their favorite cricketer. But Yusuf Pathan is encountering a major challenge for him not being able to speak Bengali and directly connect with the masses. In all this political humdrum, the BJP's Dr. Nirmal Shah, who is waiting in the wings, could squeeze through in this triangular fight. In the last leg of the campaigning that ended on Saturday evening, both the BJP and the Congress came face to face during a roadshow, sharing a rare moment of cordial gesture, signalling what is to come for this Lok Sabha seat in Bengal. As the campaigning for the 4th phase of election comes to an end, here in the Baharampur Lok Sabha constituency, the battle is tough. But it will be the people of this Baharampur constituency that will have the last word on the 13th of May when they cast their ballot on who their candidate would go to the Parliament of India in Delhi. With camera person PK, this is Dibyendu Mondal from Baharampur in West Bengal for DD India.
And in Uttar Pradesh, amidst Kanpur's status as a hub of the leather industry, the Lok Sabha constituency is gearing up for the fourth phase of the general elections 2024. People, including workers from this industry, are eagerly anticipating the chance to cast their votes, with some holding high expectations. Watch this report from DD India's Siddharth Bhardwaj.
As May 13 approaches, the Kanpur Lok Sabha constituency in Uttar Pradesh gears up for polls in Phase 4 of the general elections 2024, setting the stage for an intriguing political showdown.
You must be loving your new belt that you've just got, or a pair of shoes you've just got, made out of leather. But have you ever wondered where this leather comes from? Well, I'm in Kanpur, which is considered as the hub of leather.
These workers are putting in round-the-clock effort to meet their daily targets, crafting approximately 3,000 shoes per day. Despite all the challenges they encounter in their daily lives, they express determination to exercise their right to vote.
13 तारीख को आने वाले मतदान करने जाना है और आने वाली सरकार से बहुत उम्मीदें हैं।
Mohammad Washi, a contractual employee at this factory, simply desires a content and serene life, focusing on fulfilling the basic needs of his family. He says he will cast his ballot on May 13th.
आने वाली 13 तारीख को मैं वोट डालने जाऊंगा और आने वाली सरकार से मेरी गुजारिश है कि मेरा कामकाज यूं ही चलता रहे.
India is the second largest exporter of leather garments, third largest exporter of saddlery and harness, and the fourth largest exporter of leather goods in the world. And Kanpur city contributes over 20% of the total leather and leather goods export of India.
Everyone is very excited to go to the polls on May 13th in Kanpur, including these industry workers. But they have high expectations from the government, who will be coming this time around, when the results will be declared on June 4th. With camera person Saurabh Shukla, this is Siddharth Bhardwaj reporting for DD India in Kanpur.
India ranks second in the world in saffron cultivation, and it is Jammu and Kashmir where it's cultivated the most. As the elections bandwagon rolls on in the Union Territory, saffron farmers are putting forth their concerns. DD India's Rama Tyagi reports from Pampore.
A decade ago, Kashmir's saffron farmers were staring at an uncertain future. The yields were dropping and experts were not very optimistic about the future of saffron farming. But all that has changed now.
Definitely, why not? Every day by day there is a change. There is a day by day there is going for change. Why not? From last 10 years, from last 15 years, from last 2 years. If you go before 20 years, there is a one thing. Now after 20 years, there is other thing. Definitely digitalization, definitely the farmer mechanization. Mechanization we have clearly going our farming through the mechanization. Therefore, labor component goes down because of the mechanization. The government of Department of Agriculture issuing all the mechanization to the farming community, so that they are going for the field operation very well. So I think it is better, the government are doing very well.
Pampore, a tiny town in Kashmir, is the epicenter of saffron production. The farmers here want to increase saffron production and are seeking a better support system.
Every time we are in a position, we are in a citrus, we are in a request to our government that these are several issues of the farmers we are representing in front of the government. Which government coming in the next 1-2 months, inshallah. And we have a very good plan, we have a very good policy of the farming community, and we have a very good forum of the farming community. Each and every time we are ready to fight for the farming community.
Saffron prices in India have skyrocketed since the Kesar from Jammu and Kashmir was given the geographical indication tag. But still, scope for improvement exists. Farmers know that the elections have brought the leaders to their doorsteps, and they want to utilize the same for ensuring that the centuries-old tradition of saffron farming survives the challenges of 21st century.
Although the political fight over here is very interesting right now, so many parties are in the fray. Apart from regional parties, apart from conventional parties, some new faces are also there in fight. But the farmer of saffron city, they are saying that who will pay attention on their issues, they will cast vote only in their favor. With camera person Vinod Oja, this is Rama Tyagi, DD News, Pampore.
And still to come on DD India News are DD India's correspondents track the poll process of the country from different parts of the nation.
How bad is climate change for us Indians? And 80% of our population lives in districts that are at risk of climate-induced disaster.
It is a concrete structure. It is a groundwater tank. So they collect the water, store it. When they go deeper after 10 feet, they used to get the saline water.
We are now at a much warmer. So the 1.2 degrees Celsius of warming means that every single heat wave is now hotter, longer and more likely.
What people need to know is when is it going to start raining? When is it going to stop? If we provide this information, people can make their plans accordingly.
As India decides in the world's largest election,
we help you feel the pulse of the nation.
I am Sakal Bhatt.
I am Shubhendu Ghosh.
This election season, join us on a journey of India.
We are in Assam. This is the tea city of India.
From down south, Tamil Nadu.
Discover the colors of democracy.
Gateway to northeast of India.
Coastal state of Kerala. Watch Poll Pulse on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Gautam Roy. And we've been getting you updates on the last day of campaigning for the fourth phase of the Indian national elections. 96 seats over 10 states and union territories are going to polls on Monday. And let's get you the latest on when the campaigning has ended. There's a silent period on now from different parts of the country. For the moment, I'm told we're joined by Dibyendu Mondal, my colleague who's in Krishnanagar, West Bengal, and Mark Lynn is also with us, joining us from Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Good evening to you both, Mark and Dibyendu. Let me come to you first. Well, contrary to the three previous phases, Dibyendu, a larger chunk of 8 seats are going to polls in West Bengal in phase 4. As there's more at stake in this phase, did the campaigning see higher intensity building up to its close this evening?
Well, good evening, Gautam. That's right. 8 seats going to polls in this phase of the elections in West Bengal. This is the highest, as you rightly said, since the last 3 phases of elections in West Bengal. Of course, high stakes in this particular phase. Of course, the campaigning was also had also intensified, and we had witnessed high decibel campaigns across all the constituencies that are going to polls here in West Bengal. In fact, all the 8 big names, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, also Yusuf Pathan from the Trinamool Congress, Mahua Moitro again from the Trinamool Congress, the BJP's former state president Dilip Ghosh contesting from the Bardhaman Durgapur constituency, Queen Mother Amrita Roy from this particular constituency in Krishnanagar. So of course, big names contesting in this particular phase of election in West Bengal. So of course, high decibel campaigns. While we were closing the campaign this evening, I was in Baharampur, where I witnessed, a massive roadshow by the Trinamool Congress's Yusuf Pathan. In the morning today in Baharampur, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary and the BJP's candidate Dr. Nirmal Shah had come face to face during a roadshow, and the gesture that they had shown was of course something that today's politics in West Bengal really lack. Both greeted each other, showered petals on each other, wishing them all the best in this last phase of campaigning that closed this evening. So of course, these dramatic scenes of campaigning in West Bengal, not really heard of in a very long time. Because Gautam, you also covered West Bengal over the last 2 phases. How bloody the elections have been over the last couple of years. Of course, these kind gestures amongst politicians in West Bengal is rare, but that was really dramatic. Back to you.
Sounds good. Now, Siddharth is also with us, joining us from I believe, from Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. Siddhartha, on what kind of a high note did the campaigning for the 13 seats in Uttar Pradesh in Phase 4 end? The BJP won them all the last time around. Will it be smooth sailing this time as well, or is the opposition giving it a run for its money with Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav himself in the parade from Kannauj?
Well, a very good evening to you, Gautam, and you said it right, at 30 seats which are up for grabs in the fourth phase of the general elections 2024 here in Uttar Pradesh. BJP won all the seats last time around, but it's very difficult to say that whether it's a smooth sailing for the BJP or they will give the run for the money to the opposition, because the campaigning, as far as the campaigning is concerned, then the campaigning was happening in full swing here, and it reached, in fact, its crescendo before it ended. Now it's a silent period which is going on. As far as BJP is concerned, Gautam, then during the campaigning they promised different things. They said that we have worked for every section of the society. We have given the rights to every section of the society, including the PM Awas Yojana or Ujjwala Yojana, the scheme, the initiative which is providing clean cooking fuel to the women, especially in the rural areas. And on the other hand, Congress said that if they'll come to power, they'll give 1 lakh rupee to women each year, and also there will be certain section of quota which will be reserved for women as far as the government jobs are concerned. So both the parties, campaigned in full swing here in the region, especially where I am in Kanpur, Gautam, where the battle primarily is between the BJP and the India Alliance. As far as you just mentioned that Samajwadi Party's Akhilesh Yadav is also contesting from Kannauj. It will be very interesting to see as to who will uncork the smell of victory from the other capital of India. Back to you.
Well, last time his wife lost, but maybe he'll have better luck this time. Who knows? Mark is also with us, joining us from Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh. Mark, evening, and how is the battle for the South poised in Andhra Pradesh? All Lok Sabha and also state assembly seats are for grabs there. To what extent did this add to the campaigning intensity?
Well, Gautam, clearly the campaigning has been very intense, and right up to the last minute. I was traveling today, and I traveled to the neighboring constituencies near Visakhapatnam, that's Vijayanagaram and Srikakulam, and along the way I saw a lot of campaigning for both the Lok Sabha as well as the assembly segments, and there was a lot of life in the campaign. People trying to reach out. There were even restrictions on the road as a result of that. But clearly, I mean, making every last effort to reach out to the voter right up to the very end. But after that, of course, things have now, the silence period is on, and people are beginning to think as to what they should be doing with their votes. And I've spoken to a lot of people about whether they would be voting, and they said very much so. They're likely to come out to vote. This state has had very high voter percentage in the past, about 80% in the 2019 elections, and they have a number of issues on their minds. They want development of the state. They want to see a better future for themselves. But clearly there are various projects that are already started. They want to see them being completed. There is, of course, the fear that, whether one party comes to power, whether those projects will be, put on the back burner or not. These are things that are in the minds of some people. But on the other hand, there are people who felt that there's not enough that has been done, and they are looking for change. So it is a very, very tight race here. 50-50 is what most people are saying across the entire state. So it's going to be a very, very close contest in this election. And that we saw that in the intensity of the campaign as well, Gautam.
All right. Let me come back to you, Devendu. Now, these West Bengal seats have quite a few high-profile candidates. You mentioned some of them as well, particularly for both the Trinamool as well as the Congress party. So, to what extent was the campaigning influenced by this factor?
Well, Gautam, that's right. This particular phase has many high-profile candidates, as I mentioned earlier. before this, Yusuf Pathan from the Trinamool Congress, even Kirti Azad, of another former cricketer, is contesting on a Trinamool ticket against the former BJP president of West Bengal, Dilip Ghosh, from the Bardhaman Durgapur Loksabha constituency. Here, even Shatrughan Sinha is seeking re-election from the Asansol, the controversial Asansol seat. And why I say controversial is because the BJP had named Bhojpuri singer Pawan Singh as the candidate, but later had to withdraw after he embroiled himself into controversies with his songs. Now SS Ahluwalia, who was the candidate from Durgapur Bardhaman seat, has been moved to Asansol. So of course, high stake battles in this particular phase of election. The issues, Gautam, if I may delve into that, corruption, unemployment, non-industrialization are some of the key issues that puts the Trinamool Congress on a back foot. On the other hand, what puts the Trinamool Congress playing on the front foot is, of course, the social welfare scheme of the Lakshmi Bhandar, where every woman in this particular state of West Bengal is given 1,000 rupees each every month. So, of course, this scheme amongst the women voters, and I've been speaking to a couple of them over the last many days, and of course, I have been knowing this fact that this particular scheme of the Mamata Banerjee government has gone down really well with the women voters specifically here, and there are many other welfare schemes of the Mamata government here in Bengal, which perhaps could work in favor of the Trinamool Congress government. But of course, the BJP is leaving no stone unturned to attack and corner the Trinamool Congress here in Bengal with regards to the corruption, cut money, the muscle men, the syndicate system here that exists in the Bengal politics. Of course, interesting times ahead. Back to you.
Yes, that's what the people talk about. And I found that in phase 1 and phase 3 as well in West Bengal when I went to the state to cover those phases. Lesser seats at that time, this time even more. Now, Siddharth, what kind of issues have been occupying the mind space of voters building up to polling day in the MP seats that you visited? Are they national, regional, local, or the ones that kind of popped up during the canvassing period?
Gautam, I can tell you about where I am right now. It's Kanpur constituency, which comprises of 5 Vidhan Sabha segments. One is Govind Nagar, then you have Kidwai Nagar, you also have Kanpur cantonment. So these are all the segments. Sismau as well. These are all the segments this constituency comprises of, and also as far as the key issues are concerned, Gautam, then earlier in the day, I'm here since 2 days, and earlier in the day when we had the word with the residents, they say that the pressing issues are number 1 unemployment and number 2 inflation. They want they want that the government should work in these 2 particular sectors, and that's why they are casting their ballot on May 13. As far as the political battle is concerned here in this constituency, then the battle, like I said, primarily is between the BJP and the India Alliance. And interestingly, this time around, both the candidates are fresh faces. BJP has fielded Ramesh Avasthi, and India Alliance Congress candidate is Alok Mishra. So this is how the political battle, is taking shape here in this particular region. During the campaigning, like I said, the government, different both political parties were trying to woo the voters and on different promises, but by the end of the day, it's the voters who will be deciding as to who will be representing this particular constituency when they'll be casting their ballot on May 13, and the results for the same will be out on June 4. But the political battle seems very interesting here.
Certainly.
In 2019, if I compare, then Satyadev Pachuri, who's the sitting MP here, defeated Sri Prakash Jaiswal, and this time around there are fresh faces. So with fresh faces comes fresh challenges as well, and it will be, like I said, ultimately.
Again, we'll have to say which way it goes, Siddharth. Let me come to Mark now. Mark, what kind of political dynamics have been at play in Andhra Pradesh? Could you tell us about that as well? Because the ruling party had tacitly been supporting the centre the last 5 years, but now they're at opposite ends.
Well, Gautam, to be very honest, any party that is going to be ruling in the state of Andhra Pradesh will have to support the centre to get the best deal for the state, because it sees itself as a new state. It sees itself as a state that needs the support of the centre for development. In fact, one of the key issues has been that it required a special category status. That most people feel that that's not coming, but they did want some sort of special packages for the state. Hence, the support to the centre was always very necessary. But if we look at the dynamics here, we can see that there are 454 candidates for the 25 seats in the Lok Sabha, and there are 2,387 candidates for the 175 seats to the Assembly. But in 2019, the YSRCP that won the election won 49% of the vote share, and the TDP won 40% of the vote share. And if we add the JSP, which is its alliance this time, they had 5 or 6% of the vote share. So, and then the BJP with about 2% of the vote share. So that accounts for 97% of the vote share amongst these parties itself. So we can clearly see that they are the force to reckon with. That it is a clear fight between these two groups. Though, of course, the India Alliance is contesting all the 175 seats and all the 25 Lok Sabha seats. One can't run them out because the Congress has come to power in the state of Telangana, and there may be some spillover effect of that in the state of Andhra Pradesh, especially since YS Sharmila has been made the president of the party in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and she's the sister of Jagan Mohan Reddy. So hoping to bring back the old Congress that the YSRCP actually came out of. So this is the dynamics at play underneath. But if you talk to people on the street, they see this as a clear 50-50 contest between the YSRCP and the NDA alliance.
All right.
Back to you, Gautam.
Okay, let's see how things go in terms of the turnout and the rest when it comes to polling day, because that has also been a huge topic of discussion this elections. The marginal decrease in turnout, 3-4% that we've been seeing the last 3 phases. Whether that persists through the fourth, that will be another talking point, but we'll leave that for another day. Thanks a lot for joining us for the moment, all 3 of you. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. Israel orders new evacuations in Gaza's southern city of Rafah. The US to give a $400 million military aid package to Ukraine. And the arbitration bar of India is inaugurated in New Delhi.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, as Israel prepares to expand its operations, it ordered new evacuations in Gaza's southern city of Rafah on Saturday, forcing tens of thousands more people to move. The order came after Biden administration on Friday said that Israel's use of US-supplied weapons may have violated international humanitarian law. However, the Israeli army says it was continuing precise operational activity against Hamas fighters. In another development, the UN General Assembly has enhanced Palestine's rights within the organization and urged it be accepted as a member in the United Nations.
Despite US pressure, Israel on Saturday called for Palestinians in more areas of Gaza's southern city of Rafah to evacuate and head to what it calls an expanded humanitarian area in Al-Mawasi. Among those who evacuated the area included journalists around a Kuwaiti hospital after an Israeli order to evacuate some blocks in eastern Rafah.
Today we leave the city of Rafah. Among our fellow colleagues, after the occupation had expanded the areas that are under threat, and that includes this area that we are in now. We will leave Rafah physically, but we will not leave the journalism field. We will continue to deliver the message of our colleagues, our 150 colleagues who were martyred on the altar of freedom. We should expose the occupation and document the crimes. We have no choice but to leave Rafah. But we will stay real close to the area of events to document what happens in the city, and we hope that God protects Rafah, its people and its stones.
The development came after the Biden administration on Friday said that Israel's use of US-supplied weapons may have violated international humanitarian law. However, the Israeli military said it was continuing precise operational activity against Hamas fighters. Following Israel's order, the UN agencies have expressed concern over the situation in Gaza. The World Health Organization said that the Rafah military operation is further limiting the UN's ability to reach thousands of people who have been living in dire conditions. On Friday, the United Nations General Assembly overwhelmingly backed a Palestinian bid to become a full UN member. 143 countries voted in favor, 9 against, and 25 abstained. India too backed the vote in favor of the resolution. On its part, Israel criticized the UN General Assembly for its vote.
You are shredding the UN Charter with your own hands. Yes, that's what you're doing, shredding the UN Charter.
Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong explained the reasons for the country's support for a Palestinian bid to become a full United Nations member.
Look, the US has a right to exercise its vote as it chooses. Australia has a right to exercise our vote as it chooses. And I would make the point that many US allies and our own partners, including Japan and Korea, as I said, exercised a vote in the way that we have exercised our vote.
The resolution determines that the state of Palestine should therefore be admitted to membership, and it recommended that the Security Council reconsider the matter favourably. Fuzail Ahmed's report for DD India.
So let's talk about what all these developments really mean in terms of where this conflict is headed. Lieutenant General Sanjay Kulkarni, retired former Director General Infantry, joined us from Noida in the National Capital Region. Good evening to you. General Kulkarni, what do you make of what's been happening? The US trying to put pressure on Israel not to go into Rafah, but even saying that crimes may have been committed in terms of violating international law is not so far deterring Israel from laying siege to Gaza, to Rafah, it seems.
Thank you, Gautam. You're right. You know what's happened is the international perception has been created that Israel is almost surrounded Rafah and is all set for what it could be turned rolling into Gaza, irrespective of over 1 million refugees that are over there. Displaced people from all over Gaza have come and settled down in Rafah. Now, from 6th of May onwards, Israel has been telling them to move to Al-Mawasi, the humanitarian zone. Israelis somehow feel that the Hamas are using the Palestinian civilians as human shield and aren't moving out. They have their combat teams of the 401, the Gawate Brigade, all of them over there overlooking. Of course, the aid that has flown in from US to Israel is the old aid of $20 billion that had these 2,000 pound bombs, 500 pounds bombs. It also had, dumb bombs being created and converted into smart bombs. All that was there. Israel also is aware, because Israel has signed the Hague Convention, Israel has signed the Geneva Convention, Israel understands that internationally pressure is tremendous on Israel. It cannot afford to kill the civilian Palestinians. There is no denying the fact the situation there is absolute of famine, medical necessities, the kind of starvation. People are just about to be dying there. That's the kind of situation. But Israel is hell-bent to say that Hamas fighters which are using the Palestinian civilian as human shield must move out. If they haven't moved out, so therefore they have requested the Palestinian civilians to move to Al-Mawasi. About 110,000 have fled from that area, but there are millions and millions of there. Now, and both the crossings, the Rafah crossing as well as the Abu Salim crossing, both have been blocked. The tanks are all there. Any time they will roll in and create the chaos that the world is not wanting to do it. I'm positive Israel also does not want to do what it plans to, though of course Israel wants to only knock off Hamas. Now that kind of precision in a small area where millions of people are there seems very difficult, because these 2,000-pound bombs or 500-pound bombs create craters, create hundreds of deaths that will be there, resulting in all these, even if they're gravity bombs, even if those dumb bombs have been given the smart, be converted into smart bombs.
Yes, but bombs are still bombs, and the US is worried that the finger will point towards it sooner or later, because a lot of the hardware has been provided by the US, and domestically it is not looking good for the Biden administration, because some of its core is out protesting on the streets in universities and other places.
Absolutely, Gautam. There is no denying the fact. Election year, Biden seems to be under tremendous amount of pressure that this is not acceptable. Biden is standing with Israel to say, yes, Iron Dome, all other things would be provided for, but these kind of bombs which lead to destruction, which lead to a kind of a very bad perceptual management, that Israel is being supported by US, even though most of the humanitarian aid is flowing from USA. Despite that, to be able to stand with Israel, and Israel not being able, virtually, I would say the Israeli government is not almost listening to the Biden administration. Therefore, Biden has decided that it would stop aid for the time being. It had happened once in 1982, when I think the aid was stopped for almost about 6 years under the Reagan administration, because what the Israelis had done in Lebanon with a cluster bomb. So this kind of a thing is there. Obviously, there are other countries following US. The Canadians also wanted the same way. French also wanted the same way, that this kind of a humanitarian crisis must be averted. Everybody stands by that Hamas needs to be curtailed, or needs to be completely eliminated from there. There is no denying the fact. But at the same time, we have had almost 35,000 Palestinians die. We have over 70,000 Palestinians injured, over millions of people displaced. Almost Gaza is pulverized. In these circumstances, I think the Israelis need to rethink and ensure that, yes, whatever they intend to do, but then, the Palestinian civilians who have been pushed to Rafah from all over northern Gaza, and they have taken refuge over there, and millions of them, almost 1.8 million.
You mentioned Al-Mawasi earlier. Just explain to us, what kind of a place is this? How is it a place that is considered safer, that the Israelis are saying that the Palestinians in Rafah should move to Al-Mawasi? And here we're talking about the already displaced getting further displaced. What will they have there? What will they move into? Are there structures there? Is there any sort of infrastructure? Is there a pipeline for aid to get through over there?
Yeah, Gautam, excellent bit of feeling you get is that what is it that the Palestinians would get at Al-Mawasi, what they are not getting elsewhere.
Well, they won't get bombed in Al-Mawasi, hopefully.
Yeah, what exactly happened is, when northern Gaza came under tremendous pressure, the Israelis themselves wanted the Palestinians to move down south. Having moved down south, now at Rafah, just one crossing where the humanitarian aid was flowing, that was the Egyptian crossing which had kept open. Now that is totally blocked. Now these two, having been blocked under the surveillance of the Israelis, they've told them to move to Al-Mawasi. I understand that the Israelis themselves have pitched up tents for them, have created, hospitals for them, have ensured that the kitchens are working over there. The Americans have tried to connect it, even if not the other humanitarian aid that flow to the pure bridges that have been created along the sea to them. So Al-Mawasi has been seen as a humanitarian zone created by Israel, hopefully, that tomorrow it should happen that the Palestinians move there, and again we find that Hamas is using them as a human shield, and yet another displacement of the poor Palestinians from there. So it is a really catch-22 situation. But presently, right now, I think the Israelis since 6th of May have been announcing, throwing leaflets, coming on the communications at all times, addressing the Palestinians that they move out from Rafah, because Rafah, they feel the Palestinians are being used by the Hamas, and the Hamas fighters are there in large numbers, maybe a battalion or 2 battalions, which the Israelis are keen that they have to be eliminated. Despite the ceasefire being sort of, almost accepted by the Hamas, Israelis have rejected it to say that
it
no,
remains to be
until
seen. It remains to be seen how this entire operation is carried out, and not to mention the fact that if the Palestinians from Rafah are being asked to move to Al-Mawasi, how will it be ensured that the Hamas doesn't find some sort of shelter in Al-Mawasi as well? That's another question that the Israelis will need to answer. But we'll have to leave it right here for the moment. General Kulkarni, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, the US is preparing a $400 million military aid package for Ukraine as it returns to a regular pace of supplying weapons to Kyiv after lawmakers passed a $95 billion bill. The Ukraine aid package includes artillery, munition for air defense, anti-tank munition, armored vehicles and small arms as well. Now, in India on Saturday, the Arbitration Bar of India was inaugurated in New Delhi. Speaking at the event, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar emphasized that the establishment of the Arbitration Bar aims to position the country as the premier destination for international arbitration.
The establishment of an arbitration bar aligns with this vision to position India as a premier destination for arbitration. In a world where time is actually of essence and certainty is of paramount importance, arbitration is recognized as a cornerstone of modern dispute resolution. In India, at a time when rapid economic growth is taking place in a globalized environment, if we are to get full mileage from our 3D dividend of democracy, demographics and demand, then high quality arbitration is a notable factor in further attracting foreign direct investment.
Let's now take a look at some other updates coming in from around the country as well. India's Army Chief General Manoj Pandey visited forward areas along the LAC in Ladakh and reviewed the operational preparedness. The LAC is along the unofficial border with China. The Indian Army Chief interacted with all ranks, including troops of the Indian Air Force, the Indian Tibetan Border Police and the Border Road Organization, and commended them for their high preparedness and resoluteness while operating in extreme weather conditions and inhospitable terrain. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, that's SAARC Secretary General Golam Sanwar, arrived in New Delhi on Saturday. During his official visit to India from the 11th to the 15th of May, Sarwar will deliver an address at the 3rd Shakti Sinha Memorial Lecture on the future of SAARC on Monday. He will also visit South Asian University in Maidan Garhi in New Delhi on Tuesday. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar attended the valedictory ceremony of the Indian Foreign Service Officer Trainees of the 2023 batch and Bhutanese diplomats. Dr. Jaishankar discussed the emerging landscape, its challenges and opportunities and changing practices with them. India's External Affairs Minister welcomed them to a life of diplomacy and wished them the best of times ahead. And still to come on DD India NewsHour. India celebrates National Technology Day, which marks the anniversary of the nuclear tests conducted by the country in 1998. The US Space Weather Agency warns of a severe solar storm over the weekend as well.
Hype versus facts. In-depth news and analysis with experts who will help you decide why this election matters. DD India is the main election headquarters with numbers most accurate, data most reliable, and viewership across the platforms. Stay tuned to the Great Indian Election only on weekdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT.
Welcome back. You're watching DDI NewsHour. I'm Gautam Roy. Now, India celebrates National Technology Day every 11th of May. It marks the anniversary of the nuclear tests conducted by the country in 1998. The day honors scientists and researchers.
In a world driven by innovation, there comes a day to celebrate the brilliance that propels us forward. Welcome to the National Technology Day, an annual observance that pays tribute to the relentless pursuit of scientific excellence and technological advancement. May 11th marks a pivotal moment in history. It was on this day in 1998 that India showcased its prowess in nuclear technology through the groundbreaking Pokhran test, a testament to our nation's commitment to progress and innovation.
In 2024, the celebration will include events, seminars and discussions highlighting India's achievements and advancements in science, technology and innovation. It also provides an opportunity to reflect on how technology has transformed our lives and continues to drive the progress in various fields, from healthcare to digital communications to sustainable development and clean energy.
Initiated by the visionary leader, former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, National Technology Day stands as a beacon of inspiration for generations to come.
Nowhere else in the world have we witnessed the digital transformation of an entire country with more than 1 billion people who have access to digital technology, thus bridging this vast digital divide. This includes initiatives like DigiLocker, Aadhaar, MyGov, UPI, and all other massive digital public infrastructure initiatives which are actually served free as digital public goods.
But this day is not just about looking back, it is about embracing the future. This year, the theme resonates with the urgency of our times: clean and green technologies for a sustainable future. It is a clarion call to harness the innovation for the betterment of our planet. By celebrating the National Technology Day, we are igniting the curiosity and enthusiasm of young minds, inspiring a new generation of innovators who will drive progress and lead us towards a brighter tomorrow. Wish you all a happy National Technology Day. With camera person Mahesh Sharma, this is Tapash Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
Flash floods from unusually heavy seasonal rains in Afghanistan have killed more than 300 people and destroyed over 1,000 homes, the UN Food Agency said on Saturday. The World Food Programme said it was distributing fortified biscuits to survivors of the floods that hit Afghanistan over the last few weeks. The northern province of Baghlan was the worst hit by the deluge. In neighbouring Takhar province, state-owned media outlets reported the floods killed at least 20 people. Chief spokesperson of the Taliban government, Zabihullah Mujahid, said that hundreds have succumbed to these calamitous floods, while a substantial number have sustained injuries. Mujahid identified the provinces of Badakhshan, Baghlan, Ghor and Herat as the worst hit. He added that the extensive devastation has resulted in significant financial losses. A powerful solar storm supercharged the Earth's magnetosphere, sparkling the unusually elusive aurora borealis, or northern lights, across the United States. The celestial spectacle left sky watchers obsessing over the unforgettable display of nature's beauty. Earlier, U.S. government agency, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, warned of extreme weather conditions over the weekend. The agency said that radio, GPS and satellite communications could be affected because of an extreme solar flare in the northern hemisphere. A large, complex sunspot cluster that is 17 times the diameter of the Earth is said to be the cause behind the phenomenon. And the aurora was also seen in India's Ladakh in the extreme north. It's time now to get you all the sporting updates as well. England's pacer Jimmy Anderson is set to retire from Test cricket after the first test against West Indies that will take place on the 10th to the 14th of July. Anderson is the most successful pace bowler in Test history with 700 wickets. During his distinguished career, the pacer has picked up 987 wickets across formats. More in this story.
The curtain is set to fall on one of the illustrious career in cricket.
England's pacer James Anderson has decided to call it a day after first test against West Indies at Lord's in July. The match takes place from July 10 to 14. Anderson said in a statement, "It's been an incredible 20 years representing my country, playing the game I have loved since I was a kid. I'm going to miss walking out for England so much. But I know the time is right to step aside and let others realize their dreams just like I got to, because there is no greater feeling." Anderson made his debut in 2003. He is the most successful pace bowler in Test history with 700 wickets in 187 matches. He is only behind Sri Lankan spinner Muthaiya Muralidharan and Australia's Shane Warne. The 41-year-old has featured in 400 international matches. The pacer has picked up 987 wickets across formats. Anderson has grabbed 32 5-wickets haul and 3 10-wickets hauls. The retirement was expected because Anderson has been used sparingly by England in the recent test matches. Sports Desk, DD India.
And a big blow to Delhi Capitals in the Indian Premier League. The Cricket Indian Premier League skipper Rishabh Pant has been suspended for one match due to his team's slow over rate during their Indian Premier League match against Rajasthan Royals. Pant also has been penalised with a fine of 3 million Indian rupees. This is the third instance when Pant has been fined for the breach of the IPL Code of Conduct. And that's all that we have for this edition of DD India News Hour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us and get all the updates, the latest news from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app as well. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download it now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here in DD India. I'm Gautam Roy from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live News Hour.